So I have very special guests, Samar and Jen. Samar, please tell me about yourself, and Jen, you also.
Hey there, Raj. It's nice to be here with both you and Jen today. My name is Dr. Summer Watson. I am a doctor of psychology, clinical psychology, an author, podcaster, and also the co-host of the Life, Love, and Money Show with Jen Fontanilla.
Yeah, Jen.
Hi, everyone. I'm from Los Angeles, California, and I've been in financial services for over 16 years. I'm currently a certified money coach, author, and speaker, and I'm also a co-host with the amazing Summer. And so we are so happy to be here with you, Raj, and your audience.
And I am your co-host. So I want to, ask first question. Shall I ask you, Samar or Jen?
Yeah, sure. Let's get into this bold talk, Raj.
Yes. So Samar, just let me know, Jen. We should tell them not to be rude in every situation. Do you agree with me?
So say that again, one more time, please.
We should tell them not to be rude in every situation. Do you agree with me?
Well, are you talking about the new generation?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm talking about new generation, and some middle-aged people also, some older age people also, because sometimes people are very rude, some are very, very, very short-tempered. So I'm talking about brief discussion, not only young generation.
Okay. Well, first of all, I want to address the first question that we kind of put out there. Since the new generation is getting prepared for a new era, what does that look like for them? And so really, I think we all as human beings deal with some of the similar factors, and those factors are being career, money, spirituality, savings, debt, finances, work-life balance, as well as equity, inclusion, diversity. So there's a range of things that people are dealing with today that will continue to deal on and confront these same issues, these same things, these same with different ideology. Jen, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, when I think about this question, there's this thing about at the basic human level, okay, should we be rude? And my question is, why do we even think that that should be something to be considered? So I think as you're going through all these things in life, especially with the new generation, I think there is a way that you can be assertive. I think there is a way that you can voice your opinion, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be rude. There is a big difference. Yeah. There's being rude and belligerent and just downright mean. And then there's a way to approach things in life, because when you think about it, there are people always selling things. There's people always approaching you with different ideas, and we do business, we have interaction, we build relationships with people we like and trust, and we want to know them. And you think about it, when somebody's rude, what's our automatic feeling? Like, okay, I don't like that person. I don't want to be around that person. Okay, you know what? That's it. And so how can you go through life thinking if you want to do it that way, that's your prerogative, but I don't understand why somebody want to do that, because, people want to feel acknowledged. People want to feel respected. And if you're approaching it from a rude way, how's that going to get you anywhere? Not to say that doesn't work for some people, but is it long lasting? And you got to ask yourself, you got to think about it. Is that how you want to live your life? Is that your purpose and calling? Is that how you want to lead? So for me, I don't see that that's even an option, but I think at the core of it, you have to ask yourself, how do I want to show up? How do I want people to see me in terms of, okay, I want to be respectful. I want to be kind. I want to be giving. I want to be compassionate. And I don't think that means you got to be meek and weak and not have a voice. But by the same time, you can still be very, very strong in what you think. And it's just how you say it, not necessarily what you're saying, but it's how you're saying and showing up.
I'm going to jump in here because I've got two different perspectives here, and I want to separate the two because I think it's really important. So when I first started out the question, I wanted to kind of lay the groundwork for this new generation. It doesn't matter what generation it is, we're all dealing with some similar factors, right? But then let me switch this to like the being rude part. There's two factors here that I think about: being mean and being rude. Now, those are two distinct different things, right? So when you're mean, it really is a personality issue, right? So when I think about this, as somebody from like a human services clinical background, being mean is something from your personality. It's complete disregard for another human being, their property, their person, that kind of stuff, and not really having any remorse and manipulating others. So there's mean, and that is kind of in your soul. That's kind of a scary thing. So mean is mean. Then there's rude. And rude to me is really like conditioning what's been modeled for somebody, what they see other people doing as acceptable behavior. And so that's something that's learned. And so when I think about being rude, there is that scale, right, Jen? So you're talking about kind of that scale of, oh my gosh, that's so rude. But here's the thing, folks, like when I've traveled the world, and when I go to, let's say, Japan, and I've lived in Japan, and I see somebody taking a bowl of soup and slurping that bowl of soup. Well, in America, we might think that's really rude. So culturally, there are different things too to think about what is perceived as rude, because here that might be perceived as rude if you're at the dinner table slurping or burping or farting. Whereas in Japan, if you're slurping your soup, that's acceptable. If you're not slurping, there's a problem.
I love that you made a distinction between the two, because yeah, that makes so much sense, that one is inherently within your spirit. You're, I mean, that's why there's a phrase, you're mean spirited. That's just within you, right? Yeah. Versus rude, where it's a learned behavior. And it's that example of being in different cultures and different countries is a perfect example, because yes, it's acceptable in some places, because like you said, here it's like, oh my gosh, we would never do that. But that culture in that community, in that world, learned that that was okay, that that was acceptable. And so that's a huge distinction between the two. Thank you for that.
Oh, absolutely. And here's the thing, because America is so diverse, and because we're so complex in that way, we see a lot of different behavior. And so with that said, it's like, how do we know that? We know that being rude is something learned, that's something modeled, that's something seen. So, and here's the other distinction. It's intentional to a certain degree. So you're trying to do something or get a response in a certain way. So yes, Jen, when you said like, hey, somebody's pushing it to the limit in regards to their speech, their behavior, they're in somebody's face, they want a response. They want some kind of response. And so it's somewhat thought out, it's somewhat built in, but it definitely can be changed. And I know, just even growing up, for example, myself. So when I was growing up and I'd be in a restaurant and I didn't get what I wanted, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I didn't get that. Or, you know, and as I got older, I was like, what the heck is wrong with you? Be polite. Don't be so rude. People are people and they're working hard. And it's like, I just didn't get it because of some of the modeling that I had, some of the, you know, but yet I could change my own behavior. And I knew that certain aspects of that behavior were not right. So, you know, and it didn't feel good for me. So as I grew and matured, I also was able to view the world in a different way.
I love that.
In my point of view, the young generation, they are not intentionally rude. They are in rush. What I notice in my circle, the young generation, they are by heart very nice, very kind, but they are all the time very rush, every time. That's why once they didn't do any, they can't do anything. If you're not fulfilling his or her requirement, then they start unintentionally rude behavior with home also, outside also, because they are all the time, they want rush, rush, rush. That is, I think, in my point of view, the young generation main point. They don't have patience.
Well, let me ask you something, Raj. With that said, do you still think, because as I said, being rude there's an intentionality to some of that. So do you think that when we were all younger, that we were all kind of rude because we were all in a hurry? I remember when I was going to Berkeley and my friend would say, man, you walk like there's a fire under you constantly. And I still do. Everybody knows my walk, right? And it's like, but I was in a hurry. So do you think just because somebody's in a hurry, it's okay?
No, I'm not saying this way rude. I'm saying about like you all the time. Like I'm also very fast. I'm also
True.
doing very fast everything in my life and my home. But the rudeness is a different way. Like I'm telling you, I share you my niece example. For example, she's college going. Like if we say something, you just pass on remote button. Like some we said, just please help me some coffee, so they immediately decline and very rude way.
Oh,
They don't want to cooperate, because reason behind, they are not doing intentionally, because they are in the different world, mobile, different things. So they don't want, we can disturb, and we can and they don't want annoying from our side this way.
well, do you think that's learned behavior though?
Yeah, pardon me.
Do you think that's learned behavior? Do you think that
Yes.
they didn't learn to say thank you, please, those kinds of
Like I'm giving you one more example. Like if we are going some Pizza Hut, like McDonald's, like movie cinema hall, so you you, me and Jen, we have little patience, like some queue there, some time there, but they immediately frustrated after 5, 10, 15 minutes. No, no, we can't wait, we want to do fast way. This is the problem there.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So everything has gotten more fast. And because
Yes,
of that, there's a lack of patience. Yeah.
right.
Well, and this is a conversation I have a lot. And I don't think it's just with the young generation. I think it's even with my generation.
Yeah. That is why I told you this question is not for only
Yeah.
young. It's all.
Yeah. And I think absolutely, because even if you look at, let's say, movies, their scenes are shorter because we don't have enough patience. Now that we have computers and digital everything, we want everything like yesterday. So here we are going. And when it's not fast, even our computer speed, just like before we got on here, right, Raj? It's like, I don't know what Zoom is doing. It's going slower. Things are processing slowly. Yeah, we get impatient. We get
Me
nervous.
also, I'm very cool person, but I'm also sometimes very frustrated, because I'm always my professional, my official life, my home, my all. I'm doing very not fast, but very systematic and very appropriate way. So if somebody doing very slow and very casual way, so I'm also annoying and angry
Mm,
sometimes,
mm,
because I want very systematic and very not fast, super, but fast in the according to the time constraint is also very important. For example, if we are going somewhere for meeting and the meeting time is 12 p.m., you and me and ready before to 30 minutes, and Jan is taking time. For example, I'm giving you. So you feel frustrated because we getting late.
yeah, what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, pardon me.
I mean, I think at the end of the day, it's really coming down to being respectful of other people, of other people's thoughts, of other people, the environment that you're in, and going back to the being impatient when there's a queue. I think we have to remember that. And then the example about the coffee, and just, okay, just really, really quickly, I think all of us, not just the young generation, is that we need to remember that we need to slow down sometimes. A lot of times, I should say sometimes, a lot of times, we just need to slow down and be present. I was literally telling somebody this yesterday, and I said, you have to spend time with your kids. When you're with your kids, you're with your kids. When you're on Zoom and you're at work, you're on Zoom. Stop multitasking. Stop being in a hurry, because you cannot be intentional with the time that you're spending if you're always just trying to hurry and you're trying to do all these things. It's like we keep making everything go faster and faster, and then we wonder why we're stressed. We wonder why we're tired. We're wondering why we feel depleted. Is because we are not giving intentional focus to whatever is happening at that time. We don't even know how to practice it anymore. And so I think we have to remember, if you're in line, then think about it. Okay, if I'm in line with my friends, then have conversation and wait.
Yes.
As if waiting was a bad thing, you know, it's crazy. It's like we have moved away from things that we have grown up with for generations and centuries. And all of a sudden, because technology came into the picture, we can't even do it. It's just ridiculous. And I'm just like, you know, we are the ones causing this stress because we are choosing to go fast. We're choosing to go fast. And something Summer talks about all the time is about choices being the superpower that you possess. Well, if you don't like it, we have to learn how to think about what are the choices I'm making. I'm choosing to go 1,000,000 miles an hour or kilometers an hour, wherever you're at. And you have to think about this. If you don't like this, then we also, when we become aware, we have to teach other people or the new generation, say like, hey, why don't you just be present? And we're talking about being rude, being something learned. Well, guess what? Learning how to slow down and being aware and present is also a learned skill, a learned thing that we can totally embrace and do.
Absolutely.
Actually, the main problem is one more problem there. Like, we are not enjoying one time, one relationship also. Like, we want, if, for example, if I'm sitting with you, you and me friend. So I'm not enjoying your friendship that time. What I'm doing, the same situation, I'm doing WhatsApp, I'm doing Snapchat chat, I'm doing Facebook chat. So, you know, I am losing my great friend in front of, she's sitting there. I'm missing the moment.
Yeah.
And just for fake and virtual relationship, I'm running.
Oh, I love
And,
the points that
and no guarantee there ki what you will get or not that right person. And just for you, you are, you know, you taking your life, you know, in a risk. You are losing in front of your physical friend or just your virtual relation. That is also main problem.
Yeah, totally. And here's the last thing, because we're almost up, right? So on time. But here's the last thing I want to put out there, and this can be another conversation altogether. What do you have to say about somebody's perception of what rude is? That's a biggie.
Yeah.
You know, and how somebody perceives something. So when, you know, when you're looking at, let's say, for instance, and we'll go way off the grid on this, like sexual harassment. Well, is it, if you're the doer, if you're the perpetrator and you're doing something to somebody else and you don't perceive it as sexual harassment, it's not really about you. It's about the person you're perpetrating on and their perception. So it's like, whose perception is it? Is it ours or is it theirs based on being rude?
Yep, that's a whole nother question, because that's where I think, again, you know, just off the top of my head thinking, this is where we have to become mindful. It isn't just about us. It's about us considering other people and their feelings and their thoughts and how they are perceiving it.
Yeah.
We sometimes get so selfish. We're just human creatures that are selfish. Just by nature, we're selfish. And we forget to put others first. We forget that, oh, wait, this person may be looking at it differently. And that's where the selfishness comes in. And then going back to, you know, something you said in the beginning of the question, there's also this, wait a minute, this totally reminds me about modeling.
Yeah.
If that's what you saw your parents do, you accept it as that's how it's always been. That's how I grew up. That's what I learned. So why is this not okay? But I think there is some point in time where, as an adult, as you grow up, and this is just my opinion, I think at some point, because there's a lot of people that will argue, well, that's how I grew up. And then it's like, so you just accept that's right.
Right.
And I think at some point in time, you have to look at your environment. You have to look at how other people act and behave. And at some point, you as an adult, I would like to think that you can make a mature, grown assessment for yourself and like question, wait a minute, I'm seeing things differently. This is what I see when I was growing up, and that's what I saw, and this is how I learned, but that situation's different. But I think sometimes, again, going back to, we're such in a hurry and we're just not paying attention to what's happening around us. If you don't slow down, how are you going to see that these things are happening around you? And I think that's where there's the danger is, because then you stay in your bubble, you're not mindful and aware of what's happening around you, and then you don't understand how you're treating other people. You don't welcome the idea that there are other perspectives, there's other ideologies, there's other philosophies, there's other ways to handle things, but you want to be selfish and so locked in your bubble. And if you do the assessment and you realize like, okay, you know what, I'm going to stay with how I do it, that is totally on you, but at least you took the time to take a look. I love what Summer says all the time, a glance back.
That's right.
Look at what you're doing. Too often we are going so fast that we don't even do these self-assessments. We don't even ask these questions. And then you wonder like, well, I don't know how I got here, because you never stop to do it. You have to stop and just think about what is going on.
Yeah.
So we need pause button.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pause and reset. Pause and reset button.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. A personal human pause and reset button. That's so awesome. That's right.
Because you're right. Everyone is running fast.
Yeah.
Mental. It's all about my mindset.
Yeah.
Yes.
We need relax life, cool. So we can, and you are right. We need some training program also in school and college, because some people are growing by age, but they are not becoming mature, and they are doing same mistake in relationship. They see, if I'm in relationship with you, lot of people, for example, after 10 years, I break 2 year, 3 year. So at least I can grow myself. I learn my past mistakes, so then I can retain next relationship for long. But they didn't realize that is the main problem. Some people have habit always accuse other. They don't realize what is my fault.
Yeah.
This is very important.
This is such a great discussion. Oh my gosh. But I know what we need to move on, and we can have lots of discussions about multiple topics that were shared here. But thank you, Raj, so much.
Can anybody out there